The special election for the County Council's at-large seat is less than a month away. In the next coming week, CTV will introduce you to each of those candidates.
And joining us in the studio today is candidate and state delegate Marvin Holmes. Mr. Holmes, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
And you've had a very lengthy career, about 20 years as state delegate. So tell me why you're running now for the at-large seat.
That's a very good question, and I'm going to start with a quote from Derek Leon Davis in the Washington Post just this past weekend. And it says, "There are jurisdictions that are richer than Prince George's County. So there's a lot of competition for resources and economic viability," Davis said. An at-large county council member should be a representative of where Prince George's County wants to be considered in that larger reality. Because of my expertise at the state level, because of the things that I've been involved with at the state level, representing and carrying legislation proposed by our governor, I think I have the expertise to carry Prince George's County to that next level. I am not looking at this at-large race as a stepping stone to go someplace else. I have been at the state level for 2 decades. I don't need to go anywhere else. I want to be a Prince George's County Council representative at the county level.
Okay, so when we're talking about making those changes for the county, what are the steps that you're going to take, for instance, to bring more economic development to the county?
The economic development for the county is going to be based upon several things. 3 things specifically. Health care is one of them. Schools is the other. And economic development within Prince George's County, what we really need to be doing in terms of economic development is to mirror adjacent jurisdictions where the commercial base is higher than the residential base tax-wise. That's what we need to do in Prince George's County.
And then what strategies do you propose to attract new businesses and support than existing ones in the county?
New businesses are looking for opportunities, but they have to understand that the opportunities that they're going to be bringing to Prince George's County are not going to be hindered by the processes to bring that economic development here. As an example, some of the things that are taking place with our permitting process could be updated and revised. Some of the developers and some of the developers that I've been talking to are saying we would love to come to Prince George's County, but we are counting days, weeks, and years where it takes for us to become viable in our economic and our development criteria. We can't wait that long because the costs are adding up on a daily basis per day.
And one of your top priorities as state delegate was education and career education. So that's actually one of the top tiers for the blueprint for Maryland's future. What are your thoughts on the blueprint?
Let me talk first about career education. When I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, I had no intentions of going to college. I went to a vocational school. After getting my apprenticeship, I went to work one day, and there were people walking around with signs protesting at the place where I was employed. My mother then asked me, "What are you going to do next?" That's how I wound up in going to college. Me going to college after my vocational program gave me the opportunity at high school to learn mathematics. That's how I was able to go into the engineering programs, because vocational programs taught me those mathematics. We need to have the opportunity for people to go into vocational programs so that they can branch out later if they want to.
And you did mention spending earlier. I wanted to go back to that. You're talking about the businesses are having to spend way too much money to come into Prince George's County. Spending is a big topic in the county council right now. There's an over $170 million budget deficit going into 2025. What is your plan to solve that crisis?
Budget deficits are across the state. Well, we just had a discussion with the governor about some of the cuts that he took that take place with the state level. In terms of Prince George's County, when we invite those to bring their resources here, we need to make it easier for them to do it. I'm not saying grease the skids and make it overwhelming to our citizens. I'm just saying make it realistic. As an example, there was a ribbon cutting for South Lake development probably about a month ago. And South Lake Development, most people don't understand this, was started 29 years ago. Mill Branch, right up the street on 301, a Bill Chesley project. Most people think that these things happen instantaneously. That was started 20 years ago. So these are the kinds of things that are costing Prince George's County in their invitation to bring businesses here.
And our last question, affordable housing is a huge issue here in Prince George's County. So what is your stance on affordable housing?
Housing is necessary all across the state. There are approximately 96,000 housing units short in the state of Maryland. What we can do is one of the bills that I ushered in as law with the governor's bill was to change some of the zoning criteria to make it easier to bring some of these affordable housing units into Prince George's County. It was the governor's bill. He was the sponsor of the bill. I was the legislative leader on the floor to usher that bill in and get it signed into law. And I want to bring those exact same things that I've been doing at the state level to bring them here to Prince George's County.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Holmes. That's all the time we have today. Thank you so much for being here with us today. So make sure to tune in tomorrow. We'll be introducing another candidate, Bowie Mayor Tim Adams.